Baking pancakes, making bacon pancakes. Take some bacon and put it in my pan. Oh, I didn't realize we were already starting. What's up, guys? I'm DK Wrestler, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing a top 10 list of my favorite Funko Pops announced in the month of November 2025. How in the heck are we already at the final month of 2025 when it still feels like it's like February or something? But if you end up enjoying this type of content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. But nonetheless, let's kick this off, which coming in at that number 10 spot is the new Beat It Michael Jackson. Now, it's been great seeing these new Michael Jackson pops, especially if you can never afford any of those OG pops like the OG Beat It pop, Smooth Criminal, and even though those pops were fairly expensive when I started collecting in 2015, they have definitely risen up in price 10 years later in 2025. So it is really nice to see a more modernized and affordable version of Beat It Michael Jackson, which that song arguably is a lot of people's, including my, favorite Michael Jackson song. And I feel like it's actually been a while since we've had a Michael Jackson pop release, because I know there was times where we got a lot of Michael Jackson pops at once, like that cool updated Smooth Criminal pop. So it's awesome to see this here, awesome enough to where it's added to the top 10 list. Coming in at number 9 on my list is the Glow in the Dark Infinite from Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, it is always cool to see some new Sonic the Hedgehog pops, especially of characters we haven't seen prior. Infinite, I believe if I'm not mistaken, is an antagonist in one of the later Sonic games, so it is really cool to see this pop be made, especially with a glow-in-the-dark specification. However, because I don't really know too much about Infinite is why it's fairly low compared to some Sonic pops in the past, where I would rate them pretty high up on the list. Coming in at number 8 on my list is the Chase variant of the Fat Lady from Harry Potter. Yes, the Fat Lady, who is going to be a royalty pop limited to, I believe, 3,500 pieces. Not only do we have the regular version, but this is the very first limited edition pop that actually has a chase, which will specifically be around the 500 piece range. So it is kind of cool to see this happen with the limited edition set, but not at the same time, especially if you are a huge fan of Harry Potter and try to get the complete set, but now you got pretty much a limited 500 piece pop because of it being the chase, being something that's going to be fairly expensive if you don't end up getting this the day this releases. And this pop is fairly low on this list considering that I don't collect Harry Potter pops whatsoever, but can appreciate of seeing a first time ever chase. Coming in at number 7 on my list is the Pop Nook of Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree. Now, for the most part with the Pop Nooks, I think that they are okay, but I do think that this Winnie the Pooh is definitely the best one that has been executed thus far. I really love the detail inside with, of course, the honey dripping from not only Pooh's hands, but all over the tree, and especially the popified bee that's also added to it. I really like this concept of a Pop Nook, and I'm excited to see some other fandoms that can kind of take an idea from this and maybe even make it as good or better. I think the only thing that could have made this pop maybe go up on the list is that if this pop was also scented to smell like honey. Coming in at number 6 on my list is the Funko Shop exclusive Art the Clown in Santa Claus outfit. Now, I know that Funko have been pumping up a lot of Art the Clown pops, whether it be the one with the sunglasses that also had a chase that a lot of people went crazy for, the new one with the Halloween bucket that's someone's head, or even the Art and Sienna moments. They have been pumping up quite a bit of Art the Clown pops with the popularity of Terrifier, especially with this pop being from the recent Terrifier 3 movie that a lot of people were hoping would be made into a pop at some point. And now with the Christmas holidays approaching, this definitely is a perfect time for this pop to be released with a lot of cool details like the blood on the chainsaw. But once again, I feel it's in the bottom portion of my list, the bottom half at least, is because I know for sure I'm not going to be adding this pop to my collection. Coming in at number 5 on my list is the Baby Ralph from the Muppets Baby set. Now, this is an absolutely amazing pop. I like the Muppets Baby set overall, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is going to be the very first time that Ralph is a part of the Muppet set, unless now as I think about it, I believe he is a part of the new Muppet set. He's one of the doctors alongside Janice. I could be wrong. My memory is kind of, screwed up nowadays. But overall, this specific pop is really awesome with the little piano added to it. I think it adds a little bit oomph to this because I know for a fact that a lot of these Muppets Babies pops will be just like the baby animal and the Pokemon pops in general, where they feel a lot tinier than your average 4-inch pop. And I guess continuing with this theme, at number 4 will be the box lunch exclusive flocked variant of Baby Kermit. My favorite character in the Muppets has to be Kermit the Frog, so that does have a little bit of an edge over the Rowley. However, I think the only reason that the Kermit is higher is because there was the flocked variant of this pop. Had it only been the regular version of the Kermit alongside Rowley, I do think that the Rowley would have had an edge over Kermit and would have been in this specific spot. So adding that detail of the flock specification makes it that one spot up, and definitely makes sense for the sake of the puppet rather than the animal of a frog itself. And I guess once again, we're continuing a trend of animal related pops when it comes to spot number 3.
Shout out goes to Sentinel 107 and Duh Unacceptable Viewer.
And the reason that they ended up getting a shout out is because they joined our YouTube channel membership, which only cost $1.99 a month. Not only do you get the shout out, but you do get lots of other perks, including early access to every single video and shorts that we produce on this channel. So definitely consider joining our YouTube channel membership. It will be greatly appreciated and it will go a long way of helping out this channel a lot. So definitely consider it, but let's get right back to the video. Coming in at number 3 on my list is the Target exclusive Bullseye as Eddie Munson for the ad icons. Now, normally I don't really care too much about the Bullseye collaborations, whether they did the one this year with Superman or they've done some of the ones with TMNT where there was the chases involved with the different turtles. But there's something about this Bullseye mixing it with Eddie Munson that just makes it so awesome in the way they pulled this off. He's got the bandana on his head, he's got his tongue sticking out, he's holding the guitar, the pick in the other hand, and then instead of the amp, he actually has a Target basket that's also attached to a demo bag. This I can definitely get behind, and I really enjoy how they pulled this off, honestly. Coming in at number 2 on my list is Mitchie for the Disney throwback set, more specifically Camp Rock. Now, I was excited about the prospect of this pop when it was originally leaked in the rumor mill, and now that we see it here alongside the Hannah Montana and the Rocky pop, I do think that it's really awesome that we do have a movie like Camp Rock being immortalized into Funko Pop form. And I think how they pulled this off, especially with the outfit, is exactly how I would imagine Mitchie to begin with. But do any of the other pops in this set make it to the number 1 spot? Let's find out my few honorable mentions beforehand. Starting off with the first honorable mention being Rocky as a part of the Disney throwback set, more specifically Shake It Up. Now, it is a little bit surprising to see a series like Shake It Up actually be made into Funko Pops, but I'm not surprised about specifically Rocky being made, considering that Zendaya, who played her back in the day, has become one of the most popular actresses in Hollywood. So of course, with Funko already making pops of her, especially with MJ in the Spider-Man series, I'm not surprised that Funko had made Zendaya's character from Shake It Up, knowing that they have the Disney license. The second honorable mention on my list is Jake the Dog from Adventure Time. Now, this is what I was alluding to in the beginning of the video, where this is exactly the scene where he's making bacon pancakes, and that's kind of one of the first things I think of when it comes to Jake the Dog, so I'm really glad that they finally made a pop of Jake the Dog in this specific scene. And then the last honorable mention I have on my list are the Has-Been Hotel set of pops. And I really wanted to add at least one pop onto the list. It was just my frustrations of not knowing which pop to pick, because with a few of the characters, they have chase figures, and all of the chase variants for these characters are absolutely amazing with the details. So it was safe for me to just say that it should be an honorable mention, knowing that I was highly considering one of these pops. Coming in at number 1 on this list is the Golden Retriever for the Pop Pets lineup. Now, I was really excited to see the return of the Pop Pets lineup, a license that I feel like they could have done since the last time they did it, because because do you really need to have a license to make collectibles of different breeds of animals? It just seems weird that Funko had never capitalized on this since the last wave that was made nearly 10 years ago. And out of the four, I had to choose the golden retriever because at one point my dad did have a golden retriever, and I love the way how it's pulled off where he has the tongue and the tennis ball below the paw. They did a great job, and I know at some point I'm going to be purchasing this pup for my dad, but I am excited to see the future of the pets lineup, so I mean, it had to be number one in my opinion.